I am a stay-at-home dad, and I usually do nothing most of the time since my kids went to a summer camp for 3 weeks about 3 days ago. I was thinking about getting a job since I didn't want to be a lazy bum just sitting around the house while my wife was hard at work. Then I saw my neighbor. He was taking out the garbage, which isn't odd, I guess. I mean, it's just taking out the trash after all. That was until I saw how many bags he had. He had about 4 to 5 garbage bags that looked full. But I shook it off. Maybe he was a slob and finally cleaning up, or just neglecting to take the trash out. Who really knows? And I just continued on with my day. The next day, though, at around 4 p.m., I believe, I saw him taking more trash bags out. This time, there were like 6 of them. I was starting to get confused, thinking about how is there still so many full trash bags in that damn house. I know I shouldn't pry on people's lives, so I didn't bother. I mean, maybe he just got tired and procrastinated to take the rest out later. I just stopped my head from wrapping around it and just applied for part-time jobs. I entered resume after resume, and I'll just wait until one calls back tomorrow, which took longer than expected. The day after, at around 9 a.m., I still haven't heard anything back, other than a few rejection letters from a couple. I looked out my window to see what my neighbors were doing, and I saw him doing the same thing as the last 2 days. He only had about 3 bags this time around, but my curiosity was getting the better of me. I needed to ask what the hell was taking up so many bags, but I shouldn't snoop. But I wanted to know anyway. Maybe it was just a normal reason. Who knows? I didn't even change outside of my pajamas. I just ran up to him while in my bedwear and flip-flops, which I hastily put on. I ran up to him and asked him, "Why are you taking out so many full trash bags out lately? I don't mean to intrude on your privacy, but I want to know." When I approached him, he had an unreadable face, and he just responded with, "Don't worry about it, and it's none of your business anyway." I also noticed the horrendous smell of the bags, but I didn't think anything about it since it was just garbage after all. But I saw some sort of red liquid slightly leak through the seam of the bag, and that's when I quickly left. I was too paranoid for my sake, and it wasn't helping anyone else. I also had a text saying that my wife was going to be staying at her female friend's house for the night after work, and I told her to send a picture when she got there safely. At around 12:40 a.m., she did just that. Since she works so late sometimes, she just crashes at her friend's place, which is closer than her place of work. But later, at around 2 a.m., I couldn't sleep after seeing a mysterious red liquid dripping from the bags. So I decided to go through his trash. My mind started racing. What if I might have a murderer next door and I haven't noticed? I take the heavy trash bag out of the bin. I'm strong too. Get it? It still was a challenge to get it out of the bin. I ripped the bag open and saw a lot of legs and arms in the bag. I was horrified so much that I accidentally screamed at the top of my lungs, and I instantly fled the scene afterwards. I knew there wasn't a way he didn't get woken up by that scream. I locked myself in my house, locked the windows, closed the blinds, and called the cops. I told the cops the situation, and they said that they would be here in about 2 or 3 minutes. I waited in my house, terrified. Then I heard it. I heard the noise which still haunts me from this day. The knock on my bedroom window. I looked and saw my neighbor staring into the essence of my being with a knife in his hand. He knew that I knew,
man.
and he wasn't gonna let any witness go.
What a dream.
I instantly dashed out of my room, and I heard him punching the glass, breaking and cracking it with his bare fist. I ran out through the front door and started banging on the other windows' doors to wake them up. But that didn't work. I saw him chasing after me, and I ran through the streets screaming for help at the top of my lungs. I saw a very distant flashing light approaching me, and that's when he fled the scene over to his house. He probably fled to get his belongings and skedaddle out of this town like the bastard that he is. I continued running towards the lights, and slowly but surely, the police car got close enough for me to tell the officers the hellish experience I went through. And I pointed them at the evil bastard's house. I couldn't sleep in my own house after that, so I stayed awake the whole night. I refused to sleep until I knew he was caught, and a couple days later, I finally got it. He was arrested at the Canadian border after trying to smuggle in some drugs with him.
The cord's cut.
He was taken by the US police and sentenced for what is to be believed as 24 counts of murder. He was sentenced to 475 years in jail for his crimes. Much information about the case isn't out yet, but that's fine. I want nothing more to do with him. I still have a lot of trouble sleeping at night, and I'm on sleeping pills as well. I'm usually just thinking that if he ever broke out, I would be his first victim. That would probably brutally pay for his time in jail.